Hey, let's have a look at this other big story, big New Zealand story today, and that is the OCR falling by, take your pick, 0.5%, 500 basis points. People who say 500 basis points, they're the people who are going, I know what I'm talking about, so I'll just call it 0.5% because yeah, whatever. But I think this is, if you've got a mortgage, this is good. If you've got savings, this is not so good. If you've got savings and a mortgage, well, you're probably in the middle. It's indicative of inflation coming down, which is good for buying powers, but obviously to get inflation down, people are losing jobs, which is bad. So I don't think this is the massive win that they want to predict it to be. Yes, they can put it out there as to we're getting it down, but there are some downsides that come with this. Unemployment still going up will keep on driving inflation down. It's not particularly good that unemployment's going up, and savings will not be earning as much. It's not as good as if it's the other way. So there's wins and losses in both columns. Let's have a look at the story off One News.
Interest rates fell and mortgage rates dropped as the Reserve Bank delivered the second official cash rate drop in a row. The rate now 4.75%, a drop of 50 basis points from August, the first time it's been under 5 since March last year. It began heading down sharply as we entered the COVID pandemic, but from September 2021, just see it peak there, soaring. Peaking in May 2023. There it sat until late this year when it began to drop. Today's results cementing that trend. The outlook of further falls is fueling our banking behaviour. In December last year, 36% of new loans were fixed for 12 months. By February, it became 56%. And by August, 68%. Borrowers hoping to benefit from loan renewals at ever lower rates. With what impact today's economic move could have for you, here's business correspondent Katie Bradford.
So for people who don't have mortgages, and I know that'll be some of you, don't know what percentage of you, what she's saying is people are fixing for shorter and shorter times at the moment because they want to get the lower interest rates on their way. Like the last time I only fixed for 6 months, and that's due to come up in December because as everyone was predicting that, inflation would come down, the OCR would come down, interest rates would come down. So then I'm going to be due in December. And so I'll probably look to fix again for maybe 12 months, maybe 6 months, depending on what people are saying. So I'm not trying to tell you how to suck eggs, Whānau, but that's just for people who don't quite understand what that was all about.
The shine has fully worn off the capital's economy at one of...
Look, I want to also, highlight something here, right? I'm going to show you how much more spending power you've got at the end of this, because what TVNZ is doing is showing fucking diamond rings, Chewy. You get a diamond ring, you get a diamond ring, everybody gets a diamond ring. And
it's very relatable.
I know. An old English graduate, doubly happy. Everyone's going to have more money. Well, we'll talk about that whānau at the end of this.
Wellington's oldest jewellers. The doors are open, but the people aren't there.
The pedestrian count is absolutely down, and eventually that does translate into sales as well. And it's really only been in the last month that we've seen an actual decline, which at the moment is around about 10%.
So you've been fine up until 4 weeks ago. Why are we interviewing this person? Maybe they got it. Maybe the journalist got a 10% discount on their purchase. So what you're saying is everything was fine until 4 weeks ago, and in the last 4 weeks you've had 10% decline. Is this really a business that's been in trouble that needs this?
In Wellington, you say?
Yeah.
Diamond rings, you say?
The Reserve Bank reciting a shopping list of bad economic news. Low consumer spending, declining job ads, weak house price growth, falling immigration. So it's slashing the official cash rate by 50 points to give people a little bit more cash.
I mean, the most immediate impact for people is people on floating mortgage rates, which is a minority of people, because their rates may well come down immediately. What you'll also see if the Reserve Bank is...
Yeah, what he's saying is right, but we'll show you. I'll show you in a sec.
Cutting quite substantially is probably a further lift in business confidence.
That's going to have an effect on people's psychology, about how they think about things, about their job future, about their interest rate pay.
Will they get 1 carat or 2 carat diamonds in their earrings? They'll go down and they'll pick up their food from Pack and Save, and then they'll come and get a 3 carat ring because OCR's gone down.
Homeowners, workers...
what the fuck, TVNZ? Why aren't you talking to people who are struggling to buy food or something rather than a dude selling multiple thousands of dollars of pieces of jewellery? Like, honestly, why is this person the face of this story? Honestly.
Businesses and the government also cheering the news.
Double whammy, double happy.
But isn't this a sign of how bad the economic...
Yeah, sorry. Are we just going to let that go? I don't think we can just let that go, can we? We're not going to just let that go, are we? Are we going to let that go?
Nicola,
Double
happy.
whammy, double happy.
Businesses and the government also cheering the news.
Double whammy, double happy.
I think that needs to go on the soundboard, doesn't it? I think we just found soundboard one, probably.
Isn't this a sign of how bad the economic situation is under your watch with this big drop?
It's a sign that we've got inflation coming under control, which is what we need to get a lid on the cost of living crisis.
But on that road to get inflation down, there have been thousands of job losses.
I don't understand, Chewy. Can you explain it to me? Because I'm trying to figure this out, because like there's all these dudes just walking out of a job they've just lost, right? But none of them, I haven't seen any of those people walking out from the job they've just lost, like with new diamond rings. Maybe we need to zoom in a bit and we'll see their new diamond rings.
Oh, but they will make it back.
Yeah.
With the savings that they'll make in their property portfolios. We've overlooked that.
Gotcha. True.
Thousands of job losses and almost daily business closures. Job seekers are flooding the market.
They're stressed, they're worried, they are anxious. You know, at the same time, they're looking for a huge amount of information, rightly so, on, hey, how do I help myself differentiate?
Some roles have 250 applicants. Wellington has been dealt the biggest blow with the government-ordered public sector job cuts.
Ad levels have dropped predominantly here more, but they've dropped in Auckland, they've dropped in Christchurch. And if I was talking to a candidate, you know, I'd go, where you can, you know, you need to be open to different opportunities and potentially in different regions.
There's been a catch cry of survival.
Uproot your life.
Yeah, uproot your life.
Move
Take your
away
kids
from friends
with
and
you.
family.
Yeah. You know, for the man.
Easy.
For the man. I don't understand. This one here that's got like this unlabeled bread. I don't understand. Is this like a new green version? Is this the diamond version of a loaf of bread and they're underplaying it? Is that what they're doing? Because I thought we were all getting new diamond rings and then there's this bread just sitting here. Maybe I've missed that. Maybe.
I'll just point out something else in the basket here. The Weet-Bix, a sanitarium that doesn't pay any tax.
Nice. I like that.
5 till 25, but in Wellington, they think it'll take longer for the economy to right itself.
It's going to take some time before people actually feel confident that things have settled down, that interest rate downward decline is going to be continuous.
A double could be on the cards with another drop predicted in November.
And Katie.
Right, that'll do that lot because I want to show.
This makes me so angry, Pat, because this is what, when people say that there's no difference, it doesn't matter what party is in government. This is the difference.
Yeah.
When times were tough, Labor focused on the people. And yes, it kept interest rates high and that sort of thing, but everybody still had their fucking job. And at that point, the banks were crying out saying, we need 400,000 people to be laid off to get the cost of living under control. And my question to that point was, that'll get the cost of living under control, would it? Then how are those people out of a job going to afford the things then anyway? When they're talking about that level of people out of work, the only people that benefits are the people that want to keep wages low. They want the workers to be scared. They want the workers to be fighting over what few jobs they are. And we're doing that in an environment when we're trying to do more and more with less and less people. It's very scary.
I want to show people now because it sounds patronizing, but I don't think many people understand when people talk about, they're slashing mortgage rates, how little the difference it actually makes.
It's tiny.
Yeah,
I get caught up in this all the time.
Yeah, we'll show people.
I look at it, better not the fucking couple of basis points. It's so dumb. It's so dumb. Why do I fall for it?
This is not to talk down, lower mortgage rates. Fine. I'm looking forward to lower mortgage rates come December. great. But I just want us to at least be realistic about that. This is a story that came out today. And the reason I'm focusing on Westpac is because Westpac had all their details in this, right? They had their new rates in this, whereas some of the other banks didn't have them. So basically, Westpac have cut all of its fixed standard and special home rates by 10 basis points, so 1/10 of 1%. Its new special fixed 1-year rate is, 2-year rate is, and Westpac is also now passing on the full 50, so 0.5% for the interest free. Right. So the is that yesterday or today? Yeah, that's yesterday. So this is the new rate, and I've just put in a figure, right? But it's apples for apples. A $500,000 mortgage, paid weekly, 25-year term. Today, $721 a week. I don't think that's an unrealistic sort of size mortgage for the whole country. No, people in Auckland will be going, what? That's a deposit. But if you average it out for the whole country and people have got, you know what I mean? Now, yesterday, exactly the same terms, on yesterday's amount, that would have cost you $721, $728, $7 a week.
Get the kids ready for a holiday to Bali, people.
I reckon, and also those diamond wedding rings, you know. Funnily enough, Chewy, completely side note, we organised my wedding ring today. wasn't one of those though. Okay, and the other thing that they said this is a good thing for is for the floating. Now, most people, Chewy, I am making some judgments here. Most people don't have their whole mortgage floating. They'll have a portion of their mortgage floating. Like they'll have a portion fixed and a portion floating. Fair, Chewy? That would be a common occurrence?
I assume so. I haven't done it, but
okay.
I have heard of people doing such.
Well, not many people would have all of their mortgage floating, put it that way.
Oh, fuck.
So
no.
what I've done is I've put $100,000. $100,000 floating. So there's a $600,000 mortgage. $500,000 fixed, $100,000 floating. That's what I've done. The new rates, 8.39, that's the full 0.5% off. You'll be paying $1.84, $184. Yesterday, $192, $8. So if you have a $600,000 mortgage on 25 years, you are with the rates today compared to the rates yesterday are $15 a week better off. I'm not saying that's not nothing, but double happy, double fisted, whatever she said. I can't remember what she said.
No.
But it's nice. we always would prefer to pay less on our mortgage, on our rents, etc., etc. But I just really wanted to demonstrate to us, without being snarky, that this big, massive, slashing mortgages is $5, $10, $15. It's not going to be the difference between you filling up your car or not. Would that be fair, Chewy? It's something.
Yes.
It's something.
Yes, and you've immediately lost it in childcare fees, public transport, road user charges, ACC levies. But the fact that you now have to get private health insurance.
Yep.
All of the, you've got to save up some money, which is not generating as much interest now because you've got to put little Tarquin into a charter school. Otherwise, he'll just be digging ditches. Like, everything's terrible.
And remember as well, people who aren't in one of the major centres watching right now, you may have well less than a $500,000 mortgage. I'm sorry, Aucklanders, that does exist. A house with less than a $500,000 mortgage does exist in this long white cloud of a land we have. So remember, for you, if it was like $250, then it's $3 difference a week, give or take. So I'm just saying, I'm not trying to poo-poo it. I'm happy they're going down. I'm trying to work my mortgage around figuring out when it's going to be at its lowest, but it's not this massive change financially for people in the community that I think the government's pushing like it's going. Remember also, unemployment is still going up. So you might not be able to afford any of that mortgage, let alone the $7 difference, if your job goes as well. Good news, but let's just cool our jets and stay realistic. Pump the brakes.
Can I just talk about, okay, we're going back to the shiny rock seller, right? There's a couple of things. I know where that jewelry store is. If he's talking about a downturn, maybe it's the fact that they're demolishing the library and town hall directly across the road from him, and nobody wants to go near that part of town because it's full of noise and dust and it's terrible. The other thing that was mentioned in that article, and this is my personal fucking whipping boy every time it comes up, the New Zealand Business Confidence Survey.
Yeah.
What a ridiculous metric that is, that our media seem to love to vomit out without any context, without any critical thought. You know, what's the mood in the boardroom? Everybody thinks it's fucking great. What's it based on? We asked 12 dudes in a suit. And I've been trying to find the article, but I saw the article earlier this week where someone had taken the business confidence survey rankings and tracked it according to how the economy is actually doing. And compared to other similar surveys from around the world, ours is laughably out of step with what is going on. I am at the point where if the business confidence survey comes out and those guys are stoked, I'm going to start burying gold in the backyard because they are wrong every time. My personal happiness index is leveraged against how unhappy those guys are, because that seems to be where most of the country is doing okay.